Champions are not born, they are forged, tempered and shaped by the fires of competition. Each year, the nation's best amateur racers enter the flames of the Sports Car Club of America Runoffs, a single, winner-take-all event. This year, the Runoffs returns to Road America, one of the world's greatest and most challenging tracks. Over 500 drivers will take the green at the 48th annual Runoffs. Only 28 will emerge as national champions. The SCCA Runoffs, next on Speedcast TV.
Welcome to the coverage of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs event for the Sports 2000. They're rolling trackside as we find ourselves in the midst of a very wet racing surface. These beautiful Sports 2000 machines were certain to put on an awesome event. 12 cars to answer the bell. I'm Jim Trado along with Dorsey Schrader. This event should be a dandy. It features the Ferguses and some local flavor as well. Champions from across the country have gathered to try to capture the gold medal here at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. The annual affair, the Olympics for American amateur road racing, takes place here at Road America for the third straight year. And to help us with our coverage, let's go down to the pit road and John Bizignano.
Hey Dorsey, a question for you. This might be the best formula all day long to be in as far as the wet conditions. You have these full-body card, sophistically, very aerodynamically advanced in every way whatsoever with the full bodies. They control, they manage the air over the top of the car, and now they're even having some wings on the exit underneath the car to even give it more downforce, and not a lot of horsepower to deal with. So this particular race, it might be the least time off of their qualifying times, where you've seen huge drops in times. I bet these guys will only be about maybe 10 or 15% off. It might be the perfect formula for this type of condition. Let's see what happens. They'll have some fun.
Biz, you're right on the money with this. This is a good combination of horsepower versus aerodynamic downforce and mechanical grip. 2-liter Ford motors that came in Pintos originally, a single overhead cam, 2 valves per cylinder. Not tons of horsepower, however, very reliable, a lot of torque. Full-bodied cars, as you can see right now, they were not going to have to deal with so much spray as what the open-wheel cars did. It is a good balance, like Biz said. They'll be on full wet rain tires. Should be a good race.
Enclosed rear tires are the obvious designation, but this S2 is certainly a very competitive class. The only driver under the track record will start from pole for the third time in his Runoffs career. It's Corey Fergus, and the number 07 out of Powell, Ohio, in the Ohio Valley region. He's the Great Lakes Division champ. Finishing second to his son is John Fergus in the division. He'll start outside row number 1 in the 00. Beautiful paint job on that one. He finished third here last year behind Corey. Matthew Di Lorenzo won the gold last year. He is not here. Lorenzo is not here to defend his title. Row number 2, we find the number 34 of Mark Mercer out of Aurora, Colorado, 2-time gold medalist in the Ferenco Hoosier Lola chassis. Starting fourth, the number 28 of Bart Wolf. Barty Wolf out of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, 4-time medalist, and right here in Elkhart Lake, he certainly wants to make his home track the fifth medal, perhaps the first gold for that Goodyear bat, Carvier's CS 2.8. Starting fifth, the number 13 of Tony Sleeth, of Dearborn, Michigan. He was third in the Great Lakes region. Great job by him at Applied Vehicle Dynamics LLC and Goodyear helping his efforts this season. Running sixth is the number 42 of Michael Bouts. He's sixth on the grid outside row 3, Machesney Park, Illinois. The driver finished seventh here last year in the Hoosier Matt and Dave show Artera.
Oh, and a spin already on the warm-up lap.
That is turn 3. That's a very troubled spot. We saw a car spin off there under full contest. Full anger last race.
Actually, that's turn 7.
That's turn 7, excuse me.
Yeah, that's 7 where we had the crash with Clip Evans.
That's right, that was turn 7. GT1 cars got loose over there.
Don't have a number yet. It was one of the cars toward the back. And another thing I just saw with the help of my buddy Greg Creamer is that Mark Mercer, who would be in third place, doesn't appear to be there.
The rest of the grid includes Alan Andrea, the number 41 machine, and the Prep Elite Engines Lola, scheduled to start 7th. Scheduled to start 8th is the number 36, Bruce Gurney out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. 6 top 5s and 6 races this year. Starting in row number 5, scheduled to start on the inside, the number 71 of David Doran, the 95 S2000 champion, back behind the wheel this season in the Doran JE1 chassis. Jack Donnellan is the number 16 machine. He starts in 10th. 11th, Andrew Baruz out of Minneapolis. And starting 12th will be Charles Duncan, who has a best finish of 10th 2 years ago here at the Runoffs, and we'll try to figure out who indeed that was the car that spun.
It was David Doran in the 62 that had the spin. He was our qualified 8th place finisher. He can move right back up to his 8th place position. Even though he spun to the back, since it's on the pace lap, he can go right back up, resume his deal. Actually, I'm wrong about that. He can't do that. I would do it anyway.
Well, that's the Dorsey rule, and now we have rules for the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, which we get to watch and hopefully enjoy here with us on SpeedcastTV.com. 13 laps is the scheduled distance. Corey Fergus and his father, John Fergus, will bring us to the green flag.
John Fergus statistically has had a better year. He's won 4 out of 5 races, whereas Corey's won 1 out of 6.
But the Great Lakes Region champion goes to the Sun.
Well, it's going to be an interesting. Normally, this would be a Fergus show. Mark Mercer, who's not out there. Oh, another spin for the same car. Dorn again.
Doing a bit of a weave here.
Yeah, he's now spun again. I wonder if he's tried something weird with, I wonder if he's got intermediate or slick tires on, trying something like this.
Well, as you mentioned, the rain stopped about 30 minutes ago, but not being able to see from the paddock how wet the backside of the racetrack is. That's where Dorn's have all sorts of issues.
Something very unusual going on right back there, no doubt about that.
Pace cars going to be pulling in off of turn number 14. Here is the Sports 2000 field coming up the hill. John Fergus outside of his son, Corey Fergus. They'll go up the front stretch, leading Bart Wolf in that red number 28. And it appears Tony Sleeth has now moved into the 4th starting position in the 13.
I was going to say that if you look at this top 4, Corey Fergus, John Fergus, Mark Mercer, if he was there, Bart Wolf, they have kept this class alive. No question about it. Sports 2000, an older formula, if you will. And it looks to me like
Wolf.
John Fergus had a good run on the outside.
And Wolf looking really racy on the inside here, trying to get around Fergus.
And John takes the lead over his son.
Corey Fergus holding and protecting inside line. They've worked really well together. Corey and John have done a masterful job of drafting in the dry in prior runoffs. Bart Wolf trying to mix it up here and try to gain position to break up that juggernaut, because Ferguses are very, very good at getting out in front and pacing single file nose to tail, and Bart Wolf's trying to get in the middle of that.
And he spins it. Too much throttle coming on there. Good 360, grabs a gear, goes on down the road. And if that's the Bart Wolf that was working with us last year, if you're asking that, yes, sir, it is.
Absolutely.
That was a good 360. Danny Sullivan spin to win, and no loss.
Hey, great job by the rest of the competitors, too, because as slick as it was going through there, look at how many cars were behind him going,
whoa. Didn't lose a spot. Didn't even lose a position.
Snapped
Lost
it around
to Corey.
He'll sit 3rd, getting his breath back, and we find the rest of the cars filing through. Tony Sleeth is in that white 62. He runs 4th now. So Tony was on top of things as Bart spun off of turn 3.
John Fergus, one of my ex-teammates from many years back. Lots of experience in different forms of racing. He's been in this Sports 2000 class for many years, and it could just be the rain that he needed to try to beat his son Corey. Corey has been faster all week long.
The 00 is John Fergus. That's the dad, and that red, white, and blue. He's always got a patriotic paint job, which is really cool, and his son's adopted that as well. More and more looking like his father's race car, more and more the success he's had. John Fergus has 6 gold medals. Corey Fergus still in search of his very first.
The Fergus name, long-time stalwarts of road racing, many, many years. Father, grandfather, father, son, all the way through the family. Been around a long time in this sport.
Sitting pretty high in the chair there. I'd imagine being out in this environment, visibility is a key issue.
He just had a good little wiggle there through the kink. I'm talking about Corey Ferguson, and did a good job of handling it. These have very quick steering ratios on them, so you don't have to turn that steering wheel very much. They're go-kart-like in that fashion.
Race leaders John Fergus now heading down here into Canada Corner.
Bart Wolf had a really narrow entry to Canada Corner there. I'm not sure why that was, unless he was protecting from Tony Sleeth. I think it possibly could have been making a run at him.
So this is opening moments of a 13-lap Sports 2000 run to the championship. Father John leading son Corey Fergus. That red car with the big white stripe down the middle is Bart Wolf. Spun and continued in 3rd.
And like John Bisognano said, you can see these cars are not dancing all around and being all crazy like some of the cars we've seen in the rain. This is a very well-balanced car class, compromised between mechanical grip and aero downforce and horsepower.
At the completion of lap number 1, John Fergus leads his son Corey by 2 seconds, another 2.4 seconds back as Bart Wolf in 3rd. We see the difference here heading into turn 1.
Well, John Fergus must have had a really nice rain setup on his car. I'm sure he's been in the rain many times in that Carver chassis. Car's got a lot of grip to it, no question about it. He took the lead right there at the start from his son Corey and is extending his lead right now, 2-second gap back to his son.
That was Tony Sleeth in that red number 41. The white car in the middle of all of that is Alan Andrea. There's the 41 of Andrea. Nice job by Alan.
These
60
chassis,
years of age, get it done in fourth right now.
These chassis have not been made in quite some time, so they're all older type chassis. But you see a continuation of work on them by the independent teams. Like if you look at the Ferguses, and I know John Bizignano was looking at the fact that they've got some aerodynamic skirts that run at the bottom of the car. They're clear plexiglass.
We saw some clear plexiglass along the back leading edges as well, along back to the tail of the car.
Yep, on the top. They're channeling the wind there. They're taking the wind that comes across the top of the body and making sure it doesn't dump off the sides. By putting those plates on the end there, it brings it all the way back and gives it full mechanical downforce or aero downforce across the whole length of that body.
And just by the design of it, it looks really sleek and fast sitting still. Look at how low slung that fender is, and the front nose piece is sealed off to the racetrack if all goes well, and it's really a neat-looking, exotic, sexy-looking car. And here comes Bart Wolf. Look at that. Going to the inside here.
He won't find much
Wolf
grip
wants
there.
second spot back again. He was inside and spun on the opening circuit of Corey Fergus, and now he's gathered it back in. Not only has he righted the car after doing a 360 and continuing, but he is now closing in on Fergus with a silver medal run.
There's no quitting Bart Wolf up there. That guy, he's unbelievable. He worked with us last year, working with Greg Creamer, as an analyst, and does a really good job.
And Bart Wolf, I knew him back in the karting days, actually, and Bart was always one of those kids that would take the helmet off and never satisfied, along with his father, never satisfied unless he took home a trophy. And it's a great, determined young man that continues to race in the SCCA and in the Sports 2000 division. Bart, sitting in third spot now, is actually in search of his fifth medal. He's got 2 silvers and 3 bronze. Back in 06 and 09, he finished third. I'm sure he wants to improve on that as he tries to, again, find position on Corey Fergus. He got to him in the carousel and now lost some distance here in the back half of the course.
Takes a really weird line in the Canada corner. I think that's probably from experience running here in the rain before. He's dodging puddles or whatever, but that's a very unconventional line. About to say there's a bunch of different manufacturers of chassis that are in this race. The Ferguses are running Carbers. There's Lolas in here, 3 or 4 of them actually, and there's a Duran built by Kevin Duran, and also a year older Carber than these other ones. So, I mean, there's a lot of different chassis, and there's more than that was in this class. This used to be a very popular class with a lot of entry. Getting hard, however, to find these older Ford engines. There's no Pintos have been manufactured in quite a long time, and these are 2-liter Pinto engines that they run on.
This was almost the precursor to a spec racer Ford as far as popularity, I would say.
Pretty
and
much.
That's
faster,
been,
though.
Yep.
And these are fully aerodynamically adjustable, and they're fully mechanically grip adjustable, whereas the spec racer Ford has limited amounts of things you can do to it. These are wide open. You can do any kind of chassis setting you want. You can do aero settings on the thing. You can do geometry setting on your suspension, etc.
And that is a battle for fourth here as Andrea's getting really racy now with Bart Wolf. Wolf was a half a lap ago looking to try to get third. Now he's got to protect for fourth here.
Andrea was really squirming around there for third place.
Wolf is third. Andrea is fourth.
Well, there's John Fergus going down the hill. Of course, Corey's second, and that is the race for third. Bart Wolf holding precedent over Alan Andrea right now.
This is Corey Fergus, the second place runner. Here comes Wolf on the inside, showing position here.
Wolf got in that corner really deep, and/or Corey didn't. I'm not sure which, but he gained about 5 car lengths right there.
This is now a 3-car battle for second position. Andrea was right there with Bart Wolf. Now has dropped back slightly. And now this is second, third, and fourth, heading into turn 7. The right-hander, Wolf's looking inside again.
Bart is running a really unconventional type of line around here, and I have to assume that he has run here a lot in the rain because, I'm watching him. He's not on a conventional type dry line, and he's not on what I would consider a wet line. But look in the brake zones. He's just like gobbles up Corey Fergus.
And Fergus with that wide exit. That's exactly where Bart found him. Now they follow in the tire tracks, heading up into the carousel.
I'm wondering if the brake zone offline is not better. That's what he's showing me right now.
That's Bart Wolf's effort here to run in the third position, and visibility has become an issue for Bart Wolf. It appears that he may have popped his visor up. So
that's fogging, then. That's a
that little
situation.
windshield ahead of him will spill the air overhead, but after a while, I'm sure that the moisture gets to you no matter what you do, because it's going to get your suit soaked. It's going to get the car soaked.
Oh, and Andrea getting loose to the inside, works on the inside of the kink. Bart Wolf's a Skip Barber driving school instructor here, as I was for many years at Road America, so he has lots of laps around here. That he might be showing us that he has a really good line for this brake zones, because he's demonically good there.
Andrea got even with him, but that's as close as he could get here through Canada.
He got real loose even.
Yeah.
You got to watch that stuff. But Bart right now, he's not that fast through the corners, but he's really, really good in the break zones, and he's offline doing it. So I think he's on to something.
Tight through 13 into 14 here. We find Andrea now running in the 4th position, trying to gather back in momentum once again in that white car.
And I'm sure for Alan Andrea, he's not totally sure what's going on with Bart Wolf. Why is he over there? He doesn't belong over there. It's very confusing, not knowing, it's almost like he's blocking my attempt. I think I would be thinking Bart's blocking, but Bart's not really blocking at all. I think he just knows this racetrack in the way.
And they've raced against each other a ton. As a matter of fact, Andrea won the June sprints in Bart's literal backyard here in Elkhart Lake, and Bart ended up in 4th this past June. So they have a lot of experience racing together in the Central Division.
Regardless of all that, they woke up Corey Ferguson. When they got up behind him, he is now got up on the pipe, and he's pedaling that car and actually catching his father a little bit.
Here we go. Look at this battle now. I say a battle because it's such a difference in how they enter the corner. Then it widens back out again. It narrows back up in terms of margin from 2nd through 4th.
Now, I know that time, I watched what Bart did that time. He braked from the center of the road, and then as he lost speed on the car, moved it to the outside for the big radius on the turn-in. So he is definitely driving a pre-designated line that he's learned around this place.
Here's our race leader, John Fergus. Last lap was 7/10 slower than his son, Corey, who's now leading Bart Wolf.
Bart down to the inside again. Like I said, now look, he moves away from the inside of the racetrack where it's slippery to gain grip. He takes the position easily.
So Bart Wolf now moves into 2nd. Corey Fergus is 3rd. Let's see how now Bart Wolf can advance here. Again, I mentioned Corey Fergus 7/10 of a second faster than his father the last lap, and Bart Wolf was now dispatched of Corey Fergus into the carousel.
I like what Bart's doing. Watch the car. He's just like, he's not on any kind of a normal line. He's running through the middle of the course, doesn't get out there on the rumple strips. You see him right there. He might protect down here because it looks like Corey Fergus has got to run, and here comes Allen.
Andrea to the inside of Fergus. This is turn 8 right before the carousel.
But too shallow an entry. You're not going to be able to, he's going to have to slow the car down too much to make that work. I think I'd be chasing Bart Wolf right now and seeing what he's doing because he's showing me already he knows his way around in the rain.
Wolf takes the outside run around the rim, as you call it, Dorsey. The rim riding through the carousel. That downhill spiral into a very fast portion of the race course, this back straightaway heading into the kink.
The amazing things at the brake zone, he's found a way to get offline and find grip in the brake zone. You'll see it down into Canada. He'll be real shallow going in. I didn't understand at first what he was doing. Now I fully understand what he's doing. He's getting really good grip on the brake.
Like a poker player, will he show Fergus that here this time through, or will Fergus, he take the gap and run with it?
Fergus should be paying attention. Watch right here. He'll move to the inside, and of course now as I said, he didn't do it.
But Alan Andrea was behind him. He was thinking the same thing. He was behind Wolf a lap ago and saw that line.
Yeah, you see a guy doing something like that and it's being effective. Well, you have to have an open mind about this whole thing, you know. You learn from guys like that. Sometimes it's good to follow, somebody who's faster than you. If you know they're faster, why are they faster?
I followed Duck Waddle around this race course in a Skip Barber school. It didn't teach me a whole lot other than how to spin out.
Was it in the rain?
No, it was in the dry.
Well,
in the dry.
If you were following Duck in the rain, I can see why you couldn't keep up.
Unfortunate news. We just find we got news that Michael Botts, running in the 5th position, has now had it off.
Yeah, he's way off too.
Unfortunately, the blue number 42 machine in turn 10, that's the carousel, trying to rim ride, and the rim ran out, unfortunately, in his efforts.
Yeah, it appeared that it did. I think he's in a safe area. That's way up the top of the carousel, the entry of the carousel, and he's far enough off. I don't think they're going to do any full course. They might get a truck out there to him and pull him out.
Ooh, Alan Andrea really on the button there into turn 1.
Yeah, he was down the inside. You're going to have to try running this rim shot. You're going to get a lot more grip around the middle to the outside than you are from the middle in.
And Wolf has been able to pull away now. That red car is in 2nd. This is Corey Fergus in the 07, hanging on to 3rd for dear life, as Andrea, on occasion, 3 times a lap, has really been able to close in on the car ahead of him, just cannot make the pass. Bart Wolf by Fergus. Now Fergus is getting pressured from Andrea.
Guess where Bart Wolf lives?
Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin.
That's here.
Yep, we are in his yard, not his backyard. We're in the front yard.
Yep, that's what he's showing me. He just set fastest race lap, too. Look at him right in the middle of the road. Perfect. He's not, now he's a little bit out wide right there, but he's run this track enough times, and he's done it in the rain, and he's showing you right now a good way around here. I'm taking the lessons right now.
That's
myself.
The leader ahead of him as well.
Yeah, he's running down John Fergus, and they've raced against each other a lot.
We're working lap 5 here in the Sports 2000 run, the 2011 SCCA National Championship Runoffs at Road America for the 3rd straight year, and it's paying off for Bart Wolf. Again, two silver medals, 2 bronze medals, and he's in silver position now and hungry for a gold, and he's closing in on our race leader.
There's more than just a talent to driving in the rain. You have to be smooth. All those things are true that you read about and hear about. But also you have to be adaptive, and you have to be able to figure out grip. Bart Wolf knows his way around here. You see it.
1 foot off the outside edge of that carousel, right up the top.
No wiggle whatsoever. You saw it right there. There's a safety truck over there pulling the car out.
Attending to Michael Botts' car way off in the gravel.
Yes, he doesn't get anywhere near the apex of the kink there. He just runs through the middle more or less. And he stays off that outside curb. Now remember, all those curbs that are painted, they're all yellow or whatever, that paint is slippery.
I would think even the paint's striping along the outside edges of the racetrack.
You don't want to get your tires on that paint at all. Or any of this sealer. Look, he runs an outside of the sealer. You see the dark area to the right of the car. Yep. He's not on that.
Bart Wolf through Canada up in this position here. He's been here before. He's gained a bit on John Fergus. That's our race leader, the 00. We'll catch the gap. Last time by was 4.2 seconds. No doubt Bart Wolf is closing in, and he's got a big wave here.
Yeah, he's got a problem of some sort. He just did a big wave. Something mechanical. He's done. I'm sorry, that's a lap car. That's not Bart. That's a lap car going by, and the wave is to let these guys know.
So he was passed by the race leader, and out of courtesy, getting the move over.
He's
guys,
saying, I know you're here going by. That's what that was, the same color car. And in this rain and fog, it's hard to say, but that was just a good heads-up drive by a car going a lap down. Now we got Bart.
So Bart Wolf entering that corner, seeing that lap car. It might have cost him a bit of time here as John Fergus has opened up the 5.3 second advantage.
Here comes down up the inside. I don't know if the car's going to stick down in there. He's trying to get that position wrestled away. Not that time.
And Andrea's going to wait maybe a whole another lap here as he lost ground on Corey Fergus in the 07. This is second, third, and fourth in turn 3.
Alan Andrea has not picked up the fact that these guys are running an outside line. He keeps going down to that apex and getting loose. He hasn't understood yet that the 2 guys in front of him have figured out that there's grip to the outside. The one that's doing the best job is Bart Wolf. There's no question about it. I'm pretty impressed. I say that as I look at the guy winning. John Fergus is also pretty good here.
John Ferguson, the 00, has led this race from the outset of row number 1. Gingerly made his way into the first corner ahead of his son Corey. Bart Wolf under attack to Fergus on the very first lap in turn 3, spun out on the inside of Fergus, did a 360, stopped, kept going then, ahead of the field, remained in third position, reeled back in Corey Fergus, and now we see the distance here as Bart has got around him for second.
What you see Bart Wolf doing, and you see John Fergus doing too, is what we call making a diamond corner. Instead of apexing like he normally would, he's going down the middle of the road, he's braking deep but straight, and then he's making a very abrupt turn in the center of the corner. Now at that point he's extremely slow, but when he gets on the throttle, he's straight. And with his wheels straight and his front tires headed straight ahead, you can launch with a higher percentage of throttle, which extends the next straightaway.
Best bet on the racetrack here, second, third, and fourth. Running in fifth position is Tony Sleeth. Sixth is Andrew Varuz. Seventh is Jack Donnellan. Running eighth is David Dorn. Ninth, Charles Duncan. 10th, Michael Bouts. And again, Bouts had it off, unfortunately, for Mark Mercer. He was supposed to start third, did not complete a lap here. And Bruce Gurney also unable to make a go at the outset of this Sports 2000 run at the Runoffs.
Sounds like he's running a gear taller than what you normally would. That's another thing you do around here. You don't get up on the high RPMs in the lower gear. It's better to short shift and get to a taller gear where you won't spin those rear tires.
Working lap 6 against second, third, and fourth under contest here. It's Corey Fergus trying to close in on Bart Wolf, who actually worked past him masterfully around this wet race course here at Road America. We're in the midst of coverage on lap number 6 of 13 in the 48th running of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs in the Sports 2000 category. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned to SpeedcastTV.com.
This portion of the 48th annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs is being brought to you by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, by Black Magic Car Care Products, and by Gumout, cleaning since 1945.
What do you drive? Is it inspiring? Was it built by a behemoth car maker? Or insightful craftsmen obsessing over the details, building better cars for a discerning few? Are you one of the few who care about what you drive and how it drives? We're with you because we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner helps restore lost horsepower and fuel economy. Just pour an entire bottle of Gumout Regain into your tank before your next fill-up. Powerful cleaning additives attach themselves to fuel system carbon deposits and safely and effectively lift them away. That way, deposits burn up, then pass through the exhaust. Gumout Regain additives even leave a protective barrier to help keep new deposits from forming for up to 3,000 miles. Get a bottle of Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner today for reduced engine hesitation, surging and knocking, as well as restored fuel economy and lost horsepower, all within one fill-up.
Okay, it's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You treat the freeway on-ramp like your own personal racetrack, and you love the smell of burning rubber. Well, good news, Speed Junkie. The Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and 2,000 events across the country, the SCCA has all the wheel-spinning, engine-revving excitement you can handle. Want to dance on the edge of control? In SCCA Solo, you'll learn the blacktop two-step with an army of cones trying to trip you up. If slinging mud is your thing, check out SCCA Rallycross, where power slides and rooster tails are the name of the game. And if wheel-to-wheel competition is what you crave, SCCA Club Racing lets you chase the checkered flag on America's toughest racetracks. Join the Sports Car Club of America today and feed your obsession.
Welcome back to a wet, getting wetter Road America. This is Sports 2000, and great action here for second. It's Wolf, Fergus, and Andrea.
Great battle for second place. 6 laps in the books of 13, and it's a full-on rain right now, pouring down rain on the front straightaway where we're at. And you can tell from the spray it's been wet there too.
So Bart Wolf was easing out to maybe a 10-15 car length advantage for second. Now Corey Fergus has closed that gap to this. 2 feet now, going through Canada.
Bart adjusted his line. Now that he's taken the lead from these guys, he's not running the line he was that got him up there. I'm kind of surprised at that, but again, it was drying and now it's full-on wet.
Elevation will cause some water to flow across the racetrack if it does pool up on the outside of the race course and come across the racing surface. Another challenge for these young racers. Sports 2000, I say young racers. Corey Fergus, age 23. His father, John Fergus, is the race leader at age 59. Putting it on him here is Fergus. Right when the rain started, Dorsey, he put on a really fast lap.
Well, yeah, and I was just about to say that. When it started pouring down rain, he pulled off a 3-second lap lead over the entire field. John Fergus ran a lap at 2:56.7. And now the other guys have responded. Now look at that, 3:02. That's 6 seconds difference on that lap.
Fergus at a 2:54.6 this time by 2:54 flat for Bart Wolf. So Fergus extending his lead now to 14 seconds on this battle for second. Hometown hero Bart Wolf running in second, trying to gather up silver away and keep it away from Corey Fergus, who again, Alan Andrea's right in the mix of it here heading into turn 3.
Now I'm wondering how these guys set their cars up. They could have gone with, I'm thinking John Fergus is on complete full wet, soft setup, soft springs, soft sway bars. Some of these guys might have gone with an intermediate wet setup with leaving the spring stiff but going with full reins and so forth. But a big discrepancy in speed as John Fergus runs at 2:56. Everybody else is at 3:02. That's just huge.
Last lap, 2:56 for Fergus, 3:02 for Bart Wolf, 3:02 as well for Fergus, obviously. 3:10 for Tony Sleeth, who's drifting back in fifth now, away from this 3-car battle.
That car, the blue car, is a car being put a lap down. And you see him waving, very good sportsmanship. It lets the guys that are about to overtake him understand that he knows that they're there. He's not going to turn in the corner on them.
That is a good look at Corey Fergus, our pole sitter, who has yet to lead here. His dad pulled him down the front stretch, and Corey ran second. Then Bart Wolf got past him for second about 4 laps ago. We're working lap number 8. Bart Wolf in that red car leading Corey Fergus here. And it looks like Wolf's line is about where everybody else was running. He had an unconventional line, and perhaps is it a not showing your hand at this point because he's able to keep him behind him?
No, I think quite honestly, it's that now that we're back to a downpour, he's adapted again. He's gone to a full, more or less a full rain type of line around the outside. I think what he was working before was a partially dry and racetrack, and he was finding grip where other guys weren't. But right now, everybody on the same full wet line, it looks like, around this racetrack.
Yeah, and the rooster tails continue to flow out the back of these race cars, and the track was drying, believe it or not.
Not anymore.
Then the rain came down, and it appears to have lightened up here in the front stretch, but not before this back half of the course received more wetness.
Boy, and look at that spray. Imagine being the third-place car. Alan Andrea, you can't see anything, trust me. And the only way you know where the car is in front of you, the higher the spray is, the further away it is from you. When it starts going right in your windscreen, you're about to hit.
All right, that's good to know. Don't try that on the freeway. We are not suggesting you try that at home.
It works with my motorhome.
Closed course professional driver, Dorsey Schrader. I'm sure it would work in your motorhome all the way to Florida.
God knows there's no stopping that thing.
Bart Wolf here in second. Now he's got a bit of an advantage here over Corey Fergus for some reason through this big rainstorm. I imagine it's probably just the spray alone that got Bart that slight advantage he has.
Well, that is a big advantage, if you're the lead car. And speaking of advantage, there it is. John Fergus with a huge, huge lead over Bart Wolf. He doesn't have to worry about spraying his face, and nobody has to worry about, they can't even see him. He's so
not a wiggle either.
Now, that car is spot on. I think John has gone to a full-on, full-rain setup, and he nailed it if he did, thinking that it was going to rain. These guys might have thought that it wasn't going to rain and dry up some and compromised a little bit. In any event, this car is nailed. Oh, and look at this. Andrea finally at the inside now. You're going to have to watch out that he doesn't slide wide in touch. When you're on the inside like that, that's a preferred line in the dry, but it's a slippery line in the wet, and you could step out, and he would have got right into Corey Fergus if he did.
For the third time in the last 5 laps, Alan Andrea making the move on Fergus into turn 1, but to no avail. Fergus has been able to power past and hold on to that third position.
I think it's a desperation move because he can't see a darn thing from back there. Down here in turn 5, I think he'll have a run at him again. Look at this spray. It's as tall as the bridge. Andrea will try to work to the inside if he can. He's got to do something. I'm telling you, right where he's at is the worst place to be. Can't see anything.
We're on lap 9 here of Sports 2000 to determine the national championship. Here at Road America, Fergus hanging on to third, the final medal-paying position. Alan Andrea, a very sporty run here in fourth, again closes on Fergus. Up turn 6, down to turn 7, and a right-hander down into 8. That's a braking area. If he can get a position here, it could be a passing zone. Wolf ahead of them now by this much.
Well, that race between Corey Fergus and Alan Andrea, of course, is slowing their progress up as far as Bart Wolf's concerned. Here again, tries down inside. It's really easy to lock a brake up, running that shallow entry like that. Still not able to do anything.
Nope, not this time.
Believe it or not, he'd be better off to work to the outside versus the inside. That inside's not going to give you any grip. And if you're going to make the corner, you're going to have to slow the car so much more than the guy on the outside to make the corner. Now, this is a good run. This is a really good run through the carousel down the inside. That'll give him position for the kink.
Great move, slipstream to the inside through the carousel. Now to the kink, that right-hander that appears to be a 90 when you get to it. Flat out through that corner if it's dry, and these guys are really making it work. And now it's Andrea taking over third from Corey Fergus with a masterful move.
That was a really well set up move. That was really thinking ahead right there. That's exactly what you need to do. He got that run through the carousel, got position for the kink. You're not going to go through there side-by-side flat in the rain.
And things certainly have changed in the visibility factor for Corey Fergus, who backed off a bit from Bart Wolf to get visibility. Now he's got a bunch of spray from the 41 car ahead of him.
If you wanted to be mean, you could drop your wheel in the dirt every once in a while and give the guy a whole face full of mud. I used to do that sometimes.
Oh,
that's not nice, though.
Not at all. We're closing into the final stages of Sports 2000 here at Road America. And Dorsey Schrader's coming up with all sorts of ways to stay ahead in the wet.
It was done to me. I learned it the hard way.
Rocks pinging off the steering wheel are never off the windscreen, I'm sure. Not something you want to look forward to.
It was Emerson Fittipaldi that did it to me, though, so I guess that's fair.
So Bart Wolf hangs on to second because now Alan Andrea is closing quickly. He dispatched of Corey Fergus, who had a bad entry into turn 14. And look at this now. The battle for second rages on into turn 1.
Alan Andrea has got his hackles up. I mean, look at that car. He riding down Bart Wolf now, and he has won this race in the rain before. It was this year, June sprints.
Charles Duncan, the 71-year young driver, the number 89, lets the drivers past.
Just wondering why it took so long to come alive for Alan Andrea. I mean, if he's run this in the rain before, and now he runs inside Bart Wolf, tries to get position on him. He's not running a rain line. That's what's so funny about this deal.
And Andrea a bit loose in the tail. Bart Wolf staying true to the car, not being too upset going through these corners, but Andrea has all that speed now. We'll see where he will try to take advantage.
He's not taking advantage of where the grip is, and the fact that he's this fast just tells me one thing: he's very brave.
So Wolf gaps a bit here, going up down into this corner. Andrea sailing into turn 5 here.
Boy, if he would just move out a little bit and pick up that added traction, he would be set sail right past, because he's caught Bart Wolf up in a hurry.
This is the battle for second, working lap 10.
But he's in the slippery area again. You know, you just don't get grip there.
We see how wet this race course is. At 4 miles in length, it could be raining on certain parts. It has stopped raining here in the front straightaway, but certainly that's that water running across the racetrack provides a new challenge. Wolf again holding off Andrea, but this is where Andrea got to the opportunity to pass Corey Fergus by setting him up going 2 corners prior to the carousel.
Wolf just locks his rear tires for a minute. Not bad. He felt it right away. I predict this racetrack will dry around the July race next year. I mean, it is wet.
Now, this is where Bart Wolf has a good run, but this is exactly
the
run.
Again, he's done it again. That was a really good outside rim shot, and then moves to the inside, and he gets by Wolf way before the King.
Wow, what an awesome power move there.
That was good.
Haven't seen that today.
He did exactly the right thing. He was around the outside of the rim shot on the top side, but once he knew he could clear, he ducked to the inside. He got that grip through the bottom. That was 2 laps in a row he's found that. Now we'll see what he can do about John Fergus.
2 laps in a row and 2 positions better as Alan Andrea this time by the stripe. He's now moved into second position.
There. Almost a big mistake by Alan Andrea. Again, looking toward the apex of that corner with your eyes to the right, not paying attention that your left side front tire is about to go in the grass in the straightaway. That'll snap spin you faster than you ever knew would happen.
Dancing in the dirt, Andrea now streaking away from Bart Wolf off turn 13 over the Kohler Tunnel.
Well, I'm telling you, he really has a lot of car control, and if he just would move that car over a little bit, he'd get some grip. He wouldn't have to use all the car control he's using.
Putting distance on third place now, Bart Wolf up the hill. To complete lap number 10 is Alan Andrea, now in the silver medal position.
Yeah, and he's checking out. I mean, he's found some speed. Looking at that right now, but he's not getting Fergus done. John Fergus ran a 2:57.3 after he did. Andrea at a 2:56.50 is the fastest car on the racetrack.
18.8 seconds is the differential, though, between first and second. John Fergus has built that much of a cushion here. Wolf again popping the visor up, heading into turn number 1. Visibility certainly playing a factor for that Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin driver.
That's fogging on the inside of his helmet visor is what that is. When you knock that visor open like that, get some air up underneath it. And here is our leader, John Fergus, with a huge 18.8 second lead. There's no way with the amount of laps left, it's only 3 laps left, that he'll give up 18 seconds if he doesn't make a mistake. And I can tell you, that was my teammate for a long time. He's not going to make a mistake.
John Fergus up the hill on turn number 6. So many laps in amateur competition. 6 gold medals to prove it. His last one came at Heartland Park, Topeka in Sports 2000 and 2008. He and his son have had a spirited duel for a number of years. Corey Fergus finished 3rd. His dad finished 2nd last year. To Matthew DiLorenzo, and Matthew DiLorenzo is not here this year, so indeed the Ferguses qualified up front and remain there. John Fergus in front, Corey Fergus in 4th.
John's going to be really happy because talking to him earlier on at the Road Racing Driver Club dinner, he said, well, Corey's got me whipped here. I can't touch him on speed. Well, this rain, we talk about it being the equalizer. This man's untouchable.
And off of this carousel, something we learned today, Alan Andrea able to use the racetrack right here to the inside. It appears there must be a bit of a dip of a banking or something he really took advantage of underneath 2 competitors in 2 consecutive laps to move into second.
Well, what he did is he used that outside rim shot, and he gets that, and when he comes down onto the flat down there, he moves to the inside where the grip's pretty much the same all the way across. And if nothing else, to the right side where nobody ever runs, it's probably got more grip over there than running around to the left.
Fergus working lap 11 here in Sports 2000.
Look at that spray. It's plenty wet. Uncontested. This is the way you'd want to be in the rain. I mean, now you're just racing the racetrack and you're racing yourself. And these guys have radio communication in the pits, and they're telling him, all right, John, you got a couple more laps left. You got 18.8 seconds. Just be smooth. Bring it on home.
In 2009, he did not finish after starting 3rd in 2008. P1, we about talked about his run last year to a podium finish. So if he finishes a race, most likely he's going to find a medal hanging around his neck here in Sports Car Club of America competition when it comes to the National Championship Runoffs. 6 times he's won the gold, 11 times total he's had a medal run in 16 opportunities at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs.
Well, in its day, Sports 2000 was one of the largest attended classes that there was in SCCA. Fields in the 30s were pretty normal.
Speaks even louder for his success then in this class.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been in this class for quite a long time. It's a good formula. Albeit nobody's making these cars any longer, and the parts for the engines, etc., are coming to be hard to come by. But that being said, look at all these other classes that have spawned off of these. I mean, all it takes is somebody like a Honda to come in or a Mazda to come in with an engine that'll suit this type of car, and you're back in business.
Working lap 12, and Bart Wolf is trying to work on hanging out of the bronze medal position. He's going for it into turn number 1, but Corey Fergus was able to close in on him here. Fergus, the pole sitter, now trying to climb back into medal contention through turn 1 in that 07, sits 4th, but the medal awaits him or Bart Wolf for third here. Wolf in that red car runs down into turn 3. Fergus closed in. This is a run for the medal position.
Well, I'm thinking Corey Fergus is taking a little driver's lesson right here from Bart. You see right now they're running the same line around the racetrack, and that's exactly what you need to do. If someone catches you up and is doing a better job than you are in the rain, well, how are they getting it done? You follow them, you learn, and you go back to them with what they taught you.
Fergus now closing in on the backside of Bart Wolf. His father, John, has set sail, but Corey Fergus now in search of another medal. I say that because he doesn't have a gold, but Corey Fergus has 3 medals of his own. 2 silver, 1 bronze, trying to get into the third position on the podium with his father. In the closing stages here, Bart Wolf hampering that effort momentarily because Wolf is third, Corey Fergus fourth, up into 6.
I know it might be a little too late, too soon, too late or whatever. Alan Andrea, who's in second, running John Fergus, took off 3 seconds off that time. He's only down now 16 seconds and ran a 2:54.80 to Fergus's 57.1.
And Wolf trying to run the middle of this race course. Fergus for a moment looked to the inside of turn number 8, not to be this time.
That's his conventional line there. See, and Fergus runs the inside and gets grip. Now they'll be side by side through the carousel. Fergus on the outside. Nope, not going to get it.
Will he do a crossover? Will he find the Andrea line off the exit of the carousel? We'll find out here. That being a move to stay close and tucked under, then dip at the last minute to the right-hand side of the driver. Not this time.
Not quite close enough to make that work. It'd put you side by side in the kink, which you don't want to be, but maybe he does.
We saw one driver do that successfully this weekend, Jim Downing.
Yeah, that was an
made
amazing
a move
pass. That could be the pass
for
of the
medal.
whole
Absolutely.
entire runoffs.
And for the track president, George Brugathes, to come into this room, into the broadcast room, and be that excited, saying, did you see that pass Downing made to the inside of the kink, made it stick, and made a pass for medal position. Certainly one of the many memories here this weekend at the 48th annual running of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs.
Usually about the time you get to the apex and you're side by side with the guy in the kink, you're making a deal with God, promising that you'll never ever do that again if you get you out of this time. One time.
One time, that's all we need. John Fergus now about to approach on the final circuit. He has just passed the start-finish line to complete his 12th lap, working lap 13. This is the battle for third. Alan Andrea also ahead of these guys.
He just came by here, and I heard John Fergus's engine not on 4 cylinders. It was 3 cylinders coming by here. He's lost a hole. He's got another lap to go with a Duff engine. That car is ill right now.
This is the race leader in trouble.
It sounded horrible. When he came by here, it was on 3 distinctively. Whether a plug wire came off, listen, I don't doubt we can hear it, but
he has a 16.4 second advantage. At least he did at the start-finish line.
Oh, you can hear it. It is dead. Listen to it. It's broken one hole, 1 cylinder of the 4 is not hitting. And he's got to make 1 lap, 4 miles for a championship.
The longest lap of his career here, thinking about other racetracks.
Look how slow the car is in a straight line. And here comes Alan Andrea. He's underneath the bridge.
It's an eternity for John Fergus to try to hang on.
Listen to it. Yeah, it's misfiring pretty good. Might have a broken header pipe. And there's red lights that are flashing on the dash, which could be oil pressure related. Is he done? Not yet. Well, he's still going. He needs a half a lap.
Well, for the first time, we're in HD thanks to Volkswagen. You can see those dash lights yourself as well on the screen. And unfortunately for John Fergus, what was a cruise to victory has become a crisis mode in the final lap.
You just don't know how bad that situation is right now.
And how much do you push it? And at what point are you going to put it into gear and it's not going to go anywhere?
He doesn't care if it blows up. He just wants it to get to the finish line. But we'll have to see where Alan Andrea is. Right there, now it's back running again. It picked up. It's back on 4 cylinders. I think that could be a plug wire or something like that. Listen to it here. No, it's flat. Definitely got a misfire.
The rat-a-tat-tat you hear on the top end going into the corner here as it passes our SpeedcastTV.com cameras.
Boy, he's got to climb the hill out of Canada Corner and climb that big hill to the start-finish line. Alan Andrea cannot be far behind. He was 16 seconds. But this is not anywhere near a fast lap.
Will John Fergus have enough coming up the hill for the final time?
Oh, it's flat. It's dead flat.
Uphill through 13. Crest of the hill.
He can make it. If it just holds together. I don't see the white car of Alan Andrea yet. It should be popping into view here.
Lake Forest, Illinois' John Fergus.
Come on, baby, get up that hill.
Powell, Ohio's John Fergus, beating out Lake Forest, Illinois' Alan Andrea on the final lap. Coming up the hill with that sizable cushion, he needed every bit of it to capture gold, and he'll do it. John Fergus, with a souring engine, will take gold in Sports 2000.
Boy, oh boy, it's a good thing he had that big lead. That puppy was not going too much further. Let's see where Alan Andrea is. And look, Wolf's been passed. Fergus got around, so it's going to be a Fergus 1-4.
So Andrea will get second. Corey Fergus will actually move into third. He'll get the bronze. It'll be a Fergus podium with Alan Andrea getting the silver. John Fergus gold. Corey Fergus gets the bronze.
I'll be darned. John Fergus wins it by the skin of his teeth. Alan Andrea was coming, did a great job. Driving wise, Corey Fergus battles it down to the wire with Bart Wolf. It's going to be podiums for both of the Fergus clan.
So what an eventful race for Corey Fergus, starting on pole, losing the lead early to his dad, running side by side with Bart Wolf. Bart Wolf spins, comes back and passes him, and then Corey takes all race in the final lap, gets third spot back.
Well, mother and wife, Ronnie Fergus is going to be up in the victory stand, rain or not. She'll be up there looking pretty for these guys. A husband and son, 1-3. Good job, boys.
And there's Bart Wolf. What a spirited run he had.
This is the 16 car that we didn't see, or we thought was the wrong car before. These guys still racing to the line.
All right, that's the 16 machine. Great to see Jack Donald on H57 getting it done. This is the battle for 7th in the carousel. We're showing you more racing action here as Fergus has already done his warm down. He's begun his victory lap of sorts, and this is the battle with the 48 machine of Andy Voruz. Voruz was as low as 9th on the circuit. He's up into this position and battling.
A little bit of a run going here. These guys very tentative. Will he make a move to the inside of the carousel or the kink? Nope, not here. I would choose for down in Canada myself. Odds are better of survival.
Donald in a 1985 Lola, perhaps the oldest chassis in the field. Hanging on here.
Wow, that was an outcome that we just couldn't predict at all. One more lap would have changed that whole thing. John Fergus on that second to last lap came by here, and I heard it immediately. Just dead sour engine.
And Donnelly actually made the pass on Varuz on this final circuit. And Donnellan is running away with it here. Looks like a nice run by Donnellan, getting a little bit of a gap here off the final few corners.
Jack Donnellan brings it up from the Mitchell corner for the last time. He'll go through turn 14, climb the hill, headed for that checker.
Carefully through turn 14 for the final time in Sports 2000. The number 16 of Jack Donnellan will take home 6th position. It matches his finish of a year ago, but it was a whole lot different scenario. 10th in 2009, 6th in 2010, and again 6th in 11 for Jack Donnellan in Sports 2000.
And they'll all be glad this one's over and in the books.
7th on the final circuit to Andrew Varuz. Nice run for him as well.
And there you go. John Fergus, the winner, behind him, and Alan Andrea drove a great race. 2nd place. His son Corey Fergus, of course, 3rd, will come up and congratulate his father here. As you see Alan Andrea moving to the outside of John, we'll give him a wave and good job.
Lessons learned in Sport 2000, Dorsey, about Bart Wolf's unconventional way to get position in the wet, and also Alan Andrea 2 consecutive laps passing in the inside of the exit of the carousel.
Yeah, and if he'd pick up some of that wet weather line, boy, I think he could have won this race. He could have certainly. He showed us he's brave and he's plenty fast.
And he won the June sprints in the wet. He'll come home the silver medalist. Up the hill they come to John Bizignano for the victory celebration. The medals will be placed upon these 3 drivers, and indeed well-earned victories. The runoffs are certainly a special place for a number of reasons, and for John Fergus, for the 7th time, a reason to capture gold and celebrate with his family, with his son Corey joining him on the podium, as well as the 3rd-place finisher, taking 3rd on the final circuit to have that opportunity to join his father for the 4th time on the podium in Sports 2000.
John's a good guy, really great guy, has a great family, his son, his wife, Ronnie, like I said. Glad to see him be able to get this win. It'll mean a lot to him. You're not getting any younger, John.
Just 59 years of age, and man, what a spirited drive he had. He needed every bit of that advantage, and the margin he built as the engine soured on the final circuit. He's asking for the tape to remove from the visor, so he didn't have a choice in whether he wanted to pop that visor at any point for.
Well, he does one for the old guys since we're the same age. I can say that.
I gotcha. The helmet is off, and John Fergus is in the car, and right next to him is John Bizignano for the interview. John, take it away.
John, congratulations on a terrific drive. My gosh, we were talking on the grid and so forth. You hoping that your son would actually be coming home with the gold medal, but this smile on your face says a lot.
Well, I can't believe it, to tell you the truth. Corey just dominated the entire week. He was the best man out there. Gosh, today I guess it was just my turn and my car. Very proud. Corey and I are going to be on the podium together, first and third for the Fergus boys, and terrific week, just a fabulous week.
Well, let's talk about this a little bit. First of all, you had to be on a full wet setup, because as soon as it started raining hard, you were gone. You were actually up to 4 to 6 seconds faster than the other cars under the full wet conditions.
Yeah, we had a nice setup, and as you know, John, from being around, the tires that were running with Hoosier, they cleaned themselves so well. So I knew that I could keep my braking points the same and everything else, and I just did. We had softened up the car, the bars. Also did some things with our shocks. We're kind of shock guys. And the cars are working great, very well balanced in the high-speed stuff, got the power down great. It was just one of those days when we hit it right.
Well, these are the cars that you can actually race in the wet, because it's a good balance between downforce and the power. What about the engine problem at the end here? Now, you had to be worried about that one. About 3 laps, 4 laps?
It started to miss a little bit, and literally as I came up the hill coming out of Canada on the last lap, it started missing and then was full miss coming into the last turn. I got on the radio and I told Randy, I said, we're down to 3 cylinders. And so the last lap, instead of braking at the 4, I braked at the 3. Instead of the 3, at the 2. And we were just down a gear everywhere. And holy cow, if that had happened 1 lap earlier, I don't know what the result would have been. But we're very fortunate that it was wet, because it didn't hurt me in the carousel in some of the places where you can't go full throttle. And I knew Alan was coming. I knew Corey was coming. I was very happy when I went across the stripe here at the finish.
Let's make this official with Bonnie giving you the gold medal. But I think, Dad, the best gift of the day or of the entire week was going to be on the podium with your son.
Yes, and we've done it. We'd hoped to be 1, 2. Darn it, I guess we have to come back and do it again next year.
I think that would happen anyway. Congratulations, John, on a beautiful, magnificent run. And of course, this wet condition, even though these cars are supposedly drivable in the wet, someone who had a lot of pressure on him the entire race, my God, Alan, I mean, why did you wait so long to go by these guys? You were driving us crazy up there.
Well, the real issue was trying to figure out where my strengths and weaknesses were relative to them, because Bart and Corey had more straight line speed, even when I was exiting fairly equally. But I felt like I was doing a little better job under braking, but I wound up getting both of them exiting the carousel, between the carousel and the kink, which is in the dry impossible to do, but in the wet, if you've got a good run, you can do it. So
all that spray back there, that had to be absolutely miserable.
It was blinding, especially when we caught up to a couple of lap cars. It was, trying to pick out where the rain lights were and find a hole, and it wasn't easy.
It seemed like everyone was taking a different line, but obviously the line you were taking fit your car and your driving style.
Yeah, I think it's, a lot of it is driving style, and and then seeing what the other guys are doing and seeing where maybe you can make a little bit of a run on them, use a little bit of your car strengths to its advantage.
Well, now you've seen this guy inside his car an awful lot. Now you can shake hands with him. What a great run the two of you had. What was it like running with this guy, all that pressure from behind?
Man, it was pretty exciting. It's probably one of the most exciting races of my life, even though I'm soaked head to toe. Looked like I took a shower, but it was just a ball. Alan's a great driver, and this is a great place to be today.
Pole position, but into the first corner, your dad got you.
Dad is the master starter, I'll tell you what. He's pretty damn good, so.
I'll tell you, the biggest thing he's looking forward to is being on the podium with you. Congratulations on your bronze medal, Corey, and a great silver run. I'll tell you, you were driving us crazy up there, because once you got by, you made it look easy.
Yeah, I didn't realize, I couldn't tell how much of an advantage I had pulled out once I got by, but it was good. It was difficult but fun.
Congratulations on the silver, Alan.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, what a great show. I predicted that they would be able to race in the wet, and of course Dorsey explained why many times over. But it's a great class, and it's a class that, when it's wet like this, can still go almost 90% of the speeds that they qualified at, and that makes for good racing. All right, it's dry down here, but we have one last thing to do. But you guys take it back to the booth first.
All right, and that will wrap up our coverage of Sports 2000. Congrats to John Fergus, his son Corey Fergus there, talking about how Dad is the master at the starts. He was the master today in Sports 2000, taking home gold. Here's a take a look at the top 10. Here is Corey Fergus. We mentioned the bronze medal, the driver of the day, perhaps Alan Andrea, and then the survival of the race winner on the final circuit on 3 cylinders. Great drama here played out in Sports 2000. Bart Wolf had some drama of his own. He ends up in the 4th position. Jack Donald, a solid run, as we saw, making a pass on the final lap for 6th. David Dorn had issues on the initial pace laps. Unfortunately for Dave, came down the pit road a couple times, ends up in the 9th position, and Michael Botts was up as high as 5th before he slid off course.
Now, they say it's better to be lucky than good, but in this case, John Fergus was both. Lucky that he did get to the finish line with an ailing engine that probably wouldn't make another lap, and good, he showed us that. He was the best at the rain and the best at the start today, and wins another national championship.
And he put the helmet back on for obvious reasons. Still a little bit damp outside. And look at that beautiful car and the beautiful run to victory equals one more time around for the winner in the SCCA National Championship runoffs.
I'm wondering if that's if there's somebody alongside him holding the flag there. If that's Ronnie, she's so short she's not. I can't even see her.
Stories to tell, and indeed a family reunion on the podium when he comes back. He gets the gold, his son gets the bronze, and Alan Andrea joins them. What a spirited run at Sports 2000. Can't thank you enough for joining us here for SpeedcastTV.com coverage of the National Championship runoffs in Sports 2000.
This portion of the 48th Annual SCCA National Championship runoffs is being brought to you by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, by Black Magic Car Care Products, and by Gumout, cleaning since 1945.
What do you drive? Is it inspiring? Was it built by a behemoth car maker? Or insightful craftsmen obsessing over the details, building better cars for a discerning few? Are you one of the few who care about what you drive and how it drives? We're with you because we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner helps restore lost horsepower and fuel economy. Just pour an entire bottle of Gumout Regain into your tank before your next fill-up. Powerful cleaning additives attach themselves to fuel system carbon deposits and safely and effectively lift them away. That way, deposits burn up, then pass through the exhaust. Gumout Regain additives even leave a protective barrier to help keep new deposits from forming for up to 3,000 miles. Get a bottle of Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner today for reduced engine hesitation, surging and knocking, as well as restored fuel economy and lost horsepower, all within one fill-up.
Okay, it's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You treat the freeway on-ramp like your own personal racetrack, and you love the smell of burning rubber. Well, good news, Speed Junkie. The Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and 2,000 events across the country, the SCCA has all the wheel-spinning, engine-revving excitement you can handle. Want to dance on the edge of control? In SCCA Solo, you'll learn the blacktop two-step with an army of cones trying to trip you up. If slinging mud is your thing, check out SCCA Rallycross, where power slides and rooster tails are the name of the game. And if wheel-to-wheel competition is what you crave, SCCA Club Racing lets you chase the checkered flag on America's toughest racetracks. Join the Sports Car Club of America today and feed your obsession.